Hey, yo, what's up? Back at you with another video. Today we've got Rob Hersov on the Hustler's Corner, and we've got DJ Sbu and Penuel doing the interviewing. We are going to see a moment that occurs around the 8-minute mark or so, where DJ Sbu pulls out a phone and he plays that clip where Rob Hersov was at the Biz News conference and he spoke about white people having this particular merit and how it's very hard to say that without these race laws, without BEE, black people stand no chance.
And as long as BEE exists, the ordinary black South African has some hope that their child could get a decent job at a company because of BEE. It was hard for me to get my head around that one. White South Africans excel at academics and competition. And what we need to therefore understand and acknowledge that competing with us on merit remains a scary prospect that most black South Africans won't support. It's hard to say that.
White people are superior to black people.
So BEE is our steroid performance enhancement drug. Besides that, black people can't do nothing. Okay, but before we get to that, we're gonna be listening to a moment where he seems to be plugging DJ Sbu into a certain linkage that DJ Sbu was needing. Let's go.
Where people can come in, they love the product, and they can become small investors in your business and become your ambassadors. So let's get Warren Wheatley on the show.
So it'll be dope to have Warren Wheatley on the show. It's good that I have you here, because I've been DMing them on their Instagram account and they've been blue ticking me.
Let's call him now.
Yeah, let's call him now.
This is Altvest.
Yeah. Do you know Warren?
Remember they had like billboards all over Joburg, all over Sandton.
You watched the episode from the beginning. Is this scripted? DJ Sbu is having a very good time. He's a man who is pro-black. For the great majority of the Hustler's Corner's life, the podcast, we've seen a great many pro-black, pro-Africa, pro-African spirituality, anti-whiteness, anti-English, anti-Western, anti-Christian, anti-colonialism, anti-Bible. And so now we've got a white dude over there, and this is a head-to-head competition. And this over here is a head-to-head situation between a white rich man, the privilege that the black African spiritualists are constantly crying about. Rob Hersov represents the enemy of our ancestors, that the spiritualists and the ancestor believers pretty much say that he and his predecessors are. So we're seeing now a smooth, gentle interaction. What did I expect? Did I expect a dish pepesh pesh? Will it still come? I don't know, but I'd like something a bit more rigorous than what I'm seeing over here. But maybe the juice is coming. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe this is the unity that we are certainly needing if Rob Hersov has indeed come here to put a hand across to those who have chosen to be very black and anti everything white. So maybe despite the fact that Rob Hersov has just started a right-wing conservative white Western culture media group with the Katlejos, the Thomas Mabasos, the Gareth Cliffs, the Ronaldo Hoses under one stable. What is his relationship with DJ Sbu? Somebody who represents the opposite. So let's just pay attention and listen to that.
See, he gets hold of him first. You'll probably take your call, not mine. Here we go. Okay, I'm dialing in. And is it going to ring? Warren, you're live. You're live on the DJ Sbu show on voice. So don't call me anything, okay? So, DJ Sbu, here's Warren Wheatley.
Hey, good day. How you doing, Warren?
Good, yourself?
Lovely. Thank you very much. It's a great opportunity to speak to you. I'm responsible for an energy drink that I'm sure you see all over Johannesburg called Mo Fire.
Yes, I'm aware of it. You're the guy that runs out and sells it in the traffic, and that does that.
That's me.
Was Warren expecting the call? I asked the question. Is this an authentic interaction? Is this staged? We have to see more of this. Rob Hersov cannot stop here after coming to this podcast and then returning to his center, his base, because you know his agenda. He did speak about it in that previous episode where he went on Biz News TV. His ideals, his idea of cleanliness and morality is one that is going to conflict quite a lot with the dudes he's sitting with over there. So ultimately, a fight breaks out. I know this about people who are ideologues and whose ideas are on opposite ends of a spectrum. So Rob Hersov, if he's coming close, if he's showing some kind of affection, let today not be the last day, as his platform is going to be pumping certain conservative views, as they're going to be calling out certain behaviors, certain things, and certain people. I believe DJ Sbu would like to continually ask questions as the situation unfolds, as his minions will be dealing with stories and presenting life in a pro-libertarian, conservative, capitalist, pro-DA worldview. So as that happens, he must hop back onto here so that we may catch up and balance books, reconcile statements and ask him, what the hell was your minion saying when they said that? But let's get back to this.
I'm starting a brand new...
The same gym.
Excuse me?
I think we're at the same gym as well.
Is it?
The Flames.
Oh, I was not aware.
It doesn't show, guys, on either of you.
So I'm glad I'm being connected to you by Rob. I was just telling him that I'm starting a brand new food franchise. We're going to franchise it in the future. A company called Mzake's Kitchen. We're basically in the food space. And I was just telling him that I've got an influx of a lot of our followers who are interested to invest in the business. And I was asking him, what do I do? And then he said, we can call you.
Yeah, so my platform allows for community ownership of projects, right?
Okay.
And what we do is we Allcast does a deal with you where it's a normal private equity transaction. We would buy a stake in your business. We then make those instruments, we chop them up into small pieces. It's called fractionalization, and the public can then buy those instruments. They'd be listed on the JSE, and they can be traded in and out. And we would use your following plus ours and whatever media is available to do a big fundraising campaign and make sure everyone knows about it.
And Warren, what's the minimum amount someone can invest to be a shareholder in Mzake's?
We would set the price. So we could say 150 as an example. There's nothing turns on that. It depends on how widely accessible you want it to be.
You could bring everyone in as shareholders. It's a great idea.
That's incredible. And what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask for your details from Rob, and then I'll hit you up. And little did I know that we go to the same gym. So let's have coffee on one of these days.
Yeah, cool. Sbu, we also have an SME funding business called Altwest Credit Opportunities Fund.
Okay.
Where we give debt to SMEs. So the other process takes some time because you've got to go through the listing process. But what we often do is give bridging finance in anticipation of a listing. So, we could do up to 30 or 40 million. We've done restaurants before. We're the guys who funded Tang's expansion into Dubai. We've done a restaurant in Melville. So we're very competent in the space, and you'd be quite surprised at how easily we can raise capital for you.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad that you're saying this on camera, because we've got a platform of a lot of entrepreneurs that are watching. So it's going to be a win-win. Let's have a conversation. Thank you.
Awesome. Check us out.
And Warren, you're probably lying in a Speedo by the pool, so I'm glad you're not on video. Cheers, buddy. I'll call you later.
He was trying to plug a website there, altvest.co.za.
That's okay. We'll send that too.
Altvest.co.za. We'll put it at the bottom of the screen.
So that's one idea. But the other idea is have a look at Nando's and how they began. And maybe you should talk to Robbie Enthoven, who went to Michael House, or Robbie Brosen, the two Robbies that founded Nando's. I think it's the most valuable, privately owned fast food franchise in the world. It's still not public, it's private. And Nando's is all over the world. And get them on the show and get them to give you advice on how to take Mzake's from where you are to being the next Nando's.
Which brings me to our conversation for today. Thank you very much for making that happen, right? So this is what happens when you rub shoulders with Abu Penuel.
But maybe here's some advice for entrepreneurs. Maybe a little bit of advice here. So
yeah.
I'm 65 this year, and these guys are calling me Madala and Giz.
Yes.
10's calling me geezer.
There we go.
Pretty nice. I still have my hair though. And, if you meet someone in business, take down their contact details, write a little note of when you met them and maybe, their interests, something they said to you, and put it in your Outlook, put it in your diary and remember it. And just collect. Because there'll come a time when you go, I want to invest in this fast food business, Mosaics, but I met somebody, and then you'll remember the person, look through your Outlook, contact them, say, we met 8 years ago and I'd love to be back in touch. You'll be amazing. People will say, good for you. Yeah, I'm happy to be in touch. Collect contacts. It's a key to networking.
This is incredible, Penzo, and I'd like for you to listen to this. The clip. You are speaking at Biz News, and you said something that relates to what has just happened now in front of everyone.
Pushing you under the bus here.
No, I'm not. But I just want you to listen to this.
South African.
Does Rob understand that he was controversial? He should know this by now. He should. He knew when he was busy saying that. He said it's pretty hard to say, so he was really going for it. So seems like he doesn't want to be put on blast. He's a billionaire. You have to treat him with some gentle touch. Things have to be organized like he's Vladimir Putin. The questions need to be properly organized in advance.
Excel at academics and competition. And what we need to therefore understand and acknowledge that competing with us on merit remains a scary prospect that most Black South Africans won't support. It's hard to say that. And it's also hard to say we seem to be surviving BEE. White South Africans excel at academics and competition. And what we need to therefore understand and acknowledge that competing with us on merit remains a scary prospect.
How do I compete with Rob on merit when for me to meet the Altvest CEO, it'll take me multiple meetings. I'll try and go to his office and I'll be moved from pillar to post when you can just flip up a phone and make a difference in my business in a matter of a few minutes. How do I compete with you?
I'm unique. It's not fair to compete with me. It's better to work with me. And I mean that. I was born into a wealthy family. I am the lucky sperm. I'm the lucky sperm cloud. Can I say that?
It's okay. It's a podcast.
It's a podcast. Okay. And I am, because I was born into a very wealthy family. My mum and dad are still alive. 99.
DJ Sbu didn't ask the right question. He didn't ask this the right way. He should have held Rob Hersov accountable. DJ Sbu, you are a famous musician. For years, South Africans have listened to you. You've received awards. You, at some point, became an alternate character. Mzegezege. Some very ridiculous, flamboyant character who was very charming to township kids in their early teens, 13, 14, guess 12-year-olds. I mean, heck, man, even 5-year-olds would have enjoyed that. You are a better musician, better entertainer than Rob Hersov. If you are going to be asking him, how can I compete on merit? It's like you are putting yourself down, and this moment here is wasted and not fully utilized. Ask him, bro, what do you mean when you say blacks can't compete on merit? They need sports enhancing drugs, BEE. They need nitrous oxide to do the bare minimum that a white person can do. You have to be the very best black person to compete with the most basic white person. Oh.
My dad, 91, my mum.
Brilliant.
They live in the house I was born in. They're still married. And I've had every opportunity in the world. You won't meet anyone like me. And I know every day I get up and I thank the Lord and I thank the spirits. I thank everyone for what I've...
Don't thank the spirits, my friend. Thank the Lord.
...been given. Because I'm the guy. It could have happened to anyone else. But I'm very grateful for it and I've made every opportunity. So I've just had every opportunity in life. And it's not, don't compete with me. Team up with me is what I'm saying. But I'm not right about everything. I'm not skilled in everything. And even that comment, which was clipped and taken out of context, doesn't sound very good. It doesn't. What I was trying to say, and obviously it didn't succeed, was that I was trying to put myself in the hat of someone in 1994, a black South African, and think about 1994 to today. And I would have voted for the ANC 100%. Certainly up to Mbeki, I would have voted ANC. They would have made my life better in meaningful ways. And even intermittent electricity, sewage and water is better than none. Life had improved massively in South Africa for almost all South Africans under the ANC. Things went wrong when Jacob Zuma and Cyril Ramaphosa took over. And I think most people will agree with that. And I was just saying the worst deficit was the education deficit. At its worst peak under apartheid, white kids had 18 times times more funding than black kids. 18 times. And that education gap, it takes quite a long time to catch up.
Then you should have said the educated have more academic merit than the uneducated. You should have said the white rich have more financial merit than the black and poor who can't compete. But to generalize it as you did, you know, the generalization is 5 to 12 racism. Generalization is 5 to racism. If you find yourself and your tongue generalizing about your group, the white people, and generalizing about the black people generally, you're constantly talking about these ones being constantly capable and these ones being constantly incapable. You shall be a racist. You shall be called a racist all your life and you shall never make the link. It's the generalization. Treat people individually, specially. Get to know them and be afraid to offend those who do not fit what you're saying. So what I'm saying is, when you get the urge to generalize, have a fear. If you're going to say something about black people as a whole, have a mind that says DJ Sbu is among them because you like him, you appreciate him. Have a mind that says Penuel is among those people. The respect you have for Penuel, let it be enough to stop you from saying what you would say about black people, knowing some smart black people, knowing some fast black people, knowing black judges, living under a black president. Hey, but I don't know what merit that is. Being a president, patronage through the pipeline of a political party and then through favors and keeping people's secrets and protecting them, you advance.
18 times. I mean, it's not an easy gap to fill. But under the ANC, education wasn't fixed and wasn't improved. They've actually lowered the pass rate. So there is no difference between a white, black, green, yellow brain. None. Zero. Okay? Racism is a pigment of the imagination. I said it first on Penn's show. And
Racism is a sin. Racism is a sin. Racism is immorality. And certain people in a circular dispensation, in a circular country, under secular law, believe that if it ain't criminal to be racist, if it ain't criminal to be gay, if it ain't criminal to be a liar, if it ain't criminal to cheat, then I'll be a ketelezi who goes and gets into an encounter with another woman in his house while his wives are in their home and he doesn't even put on a rubber, and now he's in trouble because the woman is accusing him of rape. If that ain't illegal, then people will live that and normalize that. So racism falls within that bracket. You just need to know that your friend here may be properly functioning. Racists can be decentish people, but you know that there's something that is problematic in their heart, in their mind. There's just something that they carry constantly that is wicked and ungodly. And when you become friends with them, you just know that, hey man, this that friend who just doesn't behave sometimes when they see certain things, when they see women, when they see blacks, when they see whites. They become immoral. They love the women too much. They frown at the blacks too much. And that's how you get to continue living life with them.
All I was trying to say was there's an education gap and that needs to be closed if it hasn't closed already. But it has, in my view, and I don't think South Africa needs BEE, DEI anymore. I think we're all of equal capability and equal opportunity. And I think this South Africa has the best potential of any country on the planet, and it's fixable.
It's interesting that, and I apologize to the both of you. I didn't tell them, guys, that we're shooting a three-way show. So they were surprised that we'll do a show together simultaneously. But I'm glad that, I'm doing a show with the both of you. And I was asking you outside.
Ask him what he means when he says there's no need for BEE, no need for DEI. Is he spreading a global alignment message with who was the one who made this call? Was it the World Bank who said that the world needs to rid itself of the safety net, the performance drug, the aid for black people who have been through an apartheid? If he's saying that we are all equal and we ought to do away with the black person's assistance to catch up because of the uneducation and disparity he spoke of earlier, if he's saying that now, then he's just gone from one wrong to another wrong. Nothing's really been said or fixed here. He need to come off that one wrong thing, that generalization about white people being superior to blacks, and stand somewhere in the middle. But he just went off again to another alternative right-wing cardinal pillar, which is right. We are all square, we are equal. But earlier you said the education has screwed the black person over very much. And I know BEE is nothing particularly for education, but you'll understand what I'm talking about. Apart from BEE, there's things like NSFAS, there's things like free schooling in government schools for kids who don't pay. And I know and understand that the doing away with DEI is not the tendering and preferential treatment for the business black people only. This is to say everything that is an aid to the black people. And parties like the DA say this all the time, that social grants should also be pulled out. Remember what he normally says at other platforms now. Get rid of DEI, get rid of BE, get rid of social grants. We are equal. I think I'm gonna be leaving this soon. Let's just hear where this goes, and then I think we've heard enough.
Right, Penzo. How did you guys meet?
Can I take a few steps back?
Yeah.
Firstly, I'd like to thank Warren, and I'd like to thank you for raising Warren's name and Altvest. It's definitely something we need as a country, more of us. We call it plugging, plugging people. Even in the entertainment and media industry, people always talk about open the industry or something like that. There are so many people that hog contacts and networks and resources. So when you meet people like Rob who are willing to introduce you to their friends, their connects, when you are a nobody, some people really take it for granted. And it's such a big deal because, yes, Rob may come from whatever family he comes from, but we have so many family members and people in the community. It doesn't have to be billions. They know something, they know someone, but they'll never let you in. And it's something that we really need to change as a culture.
And Penuel, I was watching him on his episode from a couple of days ago where he spoke about the group of people who have not really listened to his explanation about the black person's plight currently and historically.
That means you don't believe in democracy, and you guys need to be honest about it. So yes, white people in the echo chamber of business and the rest will never understand the black majority because they're not willing to listen to the majority of the people. And when I made my angry video last week, this is what I was trying to say, that many white people don't want to listen. You think they're listening, but they're not. Could be a bunch of the people at the business conference. It could be Afriforum, could be Solidarity. It could be DA voters. It could be Freedom Front voters. It could be white people on social media. They are not listening. The majority of South Africans, the majority of black people do not agree with what you guys are saying. And the big problem that white people have, because they have the wealth, because they have the land, because they are a big chunk of taxpayers, they refuse to engage these black people. They refuse to listen to them. What do you want? We want jobs. Don't you want free things? The reality is they don't. They don't want free things. But the same white people who are the captains of industry, who own the economy or a chunk of the economy, or a big chunk of taxpayers, don't want to have an engagement with Penuel the Black Pen, Zimasa Vabaza, Sizwe Mpofu Walsh, Mighty Jamie, and say, what do black people want and how can we help them? So that we're not in an echo chamber of just listening to Rob Hersov and Helen Zille and other people making a lot of noise and applauding and then not understanding why are people voting for Zuma? What the hell, are you guys stupid? How would you know if you're stupid if you're not willing to listen to us? If you're not willing to engage us? How are you going to know if we're stupid if you're not going to be coming to the townships and the villages to come and engage us?
He says he explains to them and they forget. Says the Gareth Cliffs, the Rob Hersovs. He said that he's not getting it. It's not getting through to his head. The two of them have seemed to be in a debate lately and they were friends. Are they no longer friends? Now he's thankful, and just shortly before this he was quite critical. Maybe he's still going to interrogate the issues he's been having with Rob Hersov as the episode continues. So y'all go and check it out. I will see you next time. Like, comment, share and subscribe.